Is this thing running? What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Funnel Hackers. My name's Matt, and in this video, we're gonna be talking about how if you are taking hours to edit your YouTube videos or Instagram videos, making sure there's perfect lighting, perfect angles, perfect background music, perfect vocals, then you are doing it wrong or maybe doing it wrong in 2019. I'm gonna be talking about how raw, uncut, unedited videos are getting a lot more engagement on entrepreneurs and other social media influencers' pages. So if you guys are as excited as I am, then stay tuned and check it out. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another video. This video, obviously, we're going to be talking about raw content video. Now, I want to talk about this because it's a huge factor that a lot of people are using as strategies in their YouTube, in their Instagram, Snapchat to grow organically and faster, actually, than people that post consistent, clean, edited content. Now, this is a strategy that I haven't really implemented too much, but I've seen the results and I've actually tried to implement it over the last couple months and see how it works. Number one of the things is you get people to relate to you on a more personal level. Now, a few people that I want to talk about in this video that do this very, very well are Tai Lopez, Grant Cardone, and of course, Gary Vaynerchuk, as most of you know if you are in the entrepreneurial space. So for those of you who do not know who these people are, they're basically motivational speakers, consultants, marketing, social media gurus, if you will. So what these guys do extremely well is not only post consistently, but they also mix their clean, edited videos along with this natural raw footage. As you'll see, a lot of guys, holding up their phone, talking into it, and they're just kind of like getting real with the people, with their audience. And a lot of the audience can relate to this because it's not like I'm watching this perfectly edited, clean highlight video of their life with their money and their cars and their houses. They're actually getting to see these people in real life. Tai Lopez likes to talk about how he likes to read books all the time. You'll see him in his garage. That's probably what he got famous for, honestly, posting ads about him in his garage with his books and his Lamborghinis.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge.
And then you look at Gary Vaynerchuk, who is constantly on Snapchat and Instagram, just talking to his followers, letting them know information that is valuable to them. And Gary Vaynerchuk actually even talks in his videos sometimes about making bad content. Now, I'm going to play a little short clip here for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about, how Gary Vaynerchuk is talking about this method that I had never heard of before. So let's take a quick look at this and then we'll get back into the video.
Keeping on putting out content, but I want my content better. But even though I'm still in high school, I still have to attend school, still have to attend classes, still have to do all that type of stuff. How do I keep on doing this and taking it to a higher level, bro?
You want me to give you a huge secret, just you and me right now?
Put it up, bro.
I'm actually going to give you something remarkable. For real. You ready?
Put it up.
Start making content that you know won't do well on Instagram and YouTube.
That won't do well.
That won't do well.
Why?
Because the number one mistake that everybody is making right now in the entire world is they're trying to take their content to the next level, and they think that means more likes and more followers. And I think the next level is more truth and more experimenting.
Definitely. Just, you crazy, bro.
I know, dude. I knew I was giving you something. D-Rock, I hope you guys are filming this. I'm actually going to end this live right now to save it so I can save this.
Okay, so as you guys saw, Gary was basically giving this young entrepreneur advice on creating content that he thinks is bad or that he would think that people wouldn't want to watch, because not only is this a completely different strategy than making edited, clean videos, this is something that Gary is constantly doing in his day-to-day life, where he just puts out random content, on his Snapchat, Instagram, where he's just talking and giving information and value. You'll see Gary Vaynerchuk in his beanie and his sweatpants and his hoodie at the airport, talking to Instagram viewers about how he's, grinding. It's like 1 a.m. and he's kind of telling you his itinerary for the next day. But it really gives you a perspective on, these are just people too. It's not all highlights and fancy dinners and big meetings. They, have to wait for planes. They have to, wait in traffic. They have to do this and that, a lot of things that we do as well as normal human beings. So when you mix content such as clean, edited, highlight stuff, motivational stuff with raw, maybe I'm making breakfast or maybe I'm going to the gym, things that are aside from your business life and more into the personal aspect. That way, these people aren't just showing you how to make money, how to grow followers, how to be an influencer, but they're also showing you the background to their life and what goes on in it. So Grant Cardone does a good job as well, but he's more on the sales side. In a lot of his videos, he'll end up saying, go check out my course, go buy this, go buy a book. But, a lot of his stuff to me, honestly, is stupid. And I don't know if that's because he's older. I think he's at least in his 50s or maybe early 60s. And this is no offense to older people, but I think he has a little different strategy on just kind of not caring about, looking good in his videos or giving the best content to his viewers. He's just all about pushing content out. And he's also talked about this in a lot of his videos like Gary Vaynerchuk. And Grant Cardone is so good at posting on Twitter, posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram. And he's got a whole team behind him doing this with him, for him sometimes. But he talks about, he does a lot of his stuff. Obviously, if he's on his phone, he's posting a story on Instagram or Snapchat, he's the one filming it. Or he'll have somebody, maybe his wife or one of his film guys do it for him. But we're seeing a live look in at his life and his day-to-day. So when I'm talking about this kind of content, raw, unfiltered, uncut, a lot of it can also have to do with photos, right? So not everything has to do with videos. I basically am talking about videos because I think it's great for people to get a live look at what you're doing in your life behind the scenes of whether it's your business or maybe whether it's, you're an Instagram model or you're, always in the gym posting stuff about that, or maybe you're an athlete. But this kind of gives people a look in behind the scenes of what you're doing, through video, but pictures as well, because pictures a lot of times are what we spend most of our time editing. I know I spend a lot of time finding the right lighting, getting the best angles. Sometimes I'll filter through, 40 to 100 pictures and try to find that one picture that I think is going to be good with a certain caption and, it's got good lighting and everything. And maybe something that I think is going to get the most engagement, I used to think about posting pictures to get mostly likes. Now I try to post pictures that get engagement, right? So to me, instead of trying to boost the likes, it's more of the comments in my mind, right? So it doesn't really necessarily have to be the best picture of you, but more importantly is what are you putting into your description? What is going to go in that comment box below your picture? Because I think getting your audience, getting your followers, whether it's on YouTube, Snapchat, any platform, if you can get them to comment on a photo or a video, then that to me is the best engagement rather than a like, because they are taking the time out of their day rather than just to like the photo or the video, but they're taking the time out of their day to go in the comment box below and write up something to basically share their feedback on what they think about your photo or your video or even your caption. So when it comes to other social media influencers, I've noticed a lot of them don't always post the most attractive photos. I know there's a girl named Liza, she's super popular on YouTube, and she was with a guy named David Dobrik. For some of you that might know, they're both very popular on Instagram and YouTube. I think they broke up and now they're kind of going their separate ways. But Liza never posts, consistent, attractive photos of herself, even though she could, she could take that route. Also, I think David Dobrik is very, very similar, and I think this is why they're a great couple, because they both fed off of each other. They're both kind of funny, silly, goofy, and that's why a lot of people like them as a couple. But now, they're taking their own route, but they still have that little side to them where they're not just trying to be perfect in every photo or every single video. If you actually look at David Dobrik's YouTube channel, he's got the same style in all of his thumbnails where he's his face is in the side of the picture and he's pointing at something, and it's just weird, but it's consistent. It's not an attractive thumbnail where it's clickbaity and makes you want to click on it. He's doing this for his subscribers. He's not trying to get other viewers to watch his videos. He's doing this specifically for his followers and subscribers because they like this content, and he's going to keep reproducing it over and over. Now, another person who is super popular right now is Billie Eilish. Now, I'm not a huge fan of her music, but a lot of people love it, and I can respect that, even though I don't listen to it. But one thing that I've noticed about her Instagram is she is never ever focused on looking attractive in her photos. And something that I have taken from this is she relates so well to her audience, right? So she talks about, being broken and depressed and, a lot of different things that can relate to a lot of people in the world, maybe with anxiety. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in people's lives that their friends might not know about, but they relate to Billie because she's very vocal about it. She'll post pictures that aren't very attractive of her. And I think this is a extremely good route to take sometimes, but I think that she's doing a really good job of her content. And I don't think she even had a strategy at first. I think she's just been doing this all along and not really caring. And so that's sometimes what you have to do. You have to not necessarily care about the likes. You don't have to care about the comments or the followers. It's more about getting an audience to like you as a person and like the real you, rather than you putting on a front to try to get people to see, oh, look at this life that I'm living, this lavish lifestyle. Even though I'm kind of guilty of posting food on my Snapchat and my Instagram all the time, it's more of like, look what I made, because I get excited for food. But a lot of people will be posting this stuff about maybe, their lifestyle, and in a way it's so hard for people to relate to that, because they look at them and it's like, oh, I'm always traveling, or I'm always eating in nice places, or shopping, or doing this or that. It is so good to see the raw content, people behind the scenes, without an edited photo or without a fancy video, to see somebody and actually what they're about. So I think that people in the social media space, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, I think that it's so important to not only, post pictures that you might feel are going to get the most likes or the most comments, but things that are going to relate to your followers and your audience. And at the end of the day, it's not necessarily all about getting these likes and getting these followers and comments. It's about having people that trust you and that like to watch your content. And so that is my little spiel on raw content. I think it is so important to study these entrepreneurs, study these influencers on Instagram, on YouTube, and to look at the strategies that they're taking and try to implement them in your own Instagram or your own YouTube or Snapchat or whatever social media platforms you are using actively. And if you guys haven't seen my last video on 3 important Instagram steps that I think people are missing, I'm gonna link that right here. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you guys aren't already, unless you are, which I do appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.